There's something really detrimental that keeps people from thriving in human design and instead has them get stuck and use human design as an excuse not to live the exalted expression of their human design. Let's witness a dramatic reenactment of this very thing. Hey. Oh, hey. What's going on?
What do you mean?
Why so glum, chum?
Oh, I really hate it here where I live. I don't like living in this place.
Why don't you find somewhere else to live? Like something that resonates for you, that feels good, that makes you come alive.
I can't leave. I have nothing to respond to. There's nothing to respond to. So I'm just waiting to respond.
Does your life force resonate where you are? Because if it doesn't, I mean, that's also something to respond to.
I'm also broke, so I can't really leave anyway.
You look kind of depressed.
I guess I am depressed because there's nothing to respond to.
Oh, are you working? Do you have a job or an income?
No, I'm not working because I'm not responding to anything.
Well, of course you're broke if you're not working. What about doing human design readings? You love that. Why don't you do human design readings?
Yeah, I would love to do human design readings if people asked me to do them, but no one's asking.
I'm not sure that's how it works. Sort of like more like one of those if you build it, they will come things.
No, I don't have a page built because I'm not responding.
Yeah, well, you can't really expect to get human design readings if you don't have a page. Why don't you build a web page and maybe let people know about your work?
I'm not into business.
Okay, but you've kind of been like this for years now. I think there's something else to this that you might be missing.
Look, I'm just waiting to respond, okay? Something will come and I'll respond.
So the thing that stops people from really living the exalted expression of their human design and instead keeps them trapped in a very limited and disempowering expression of their human design is, I'm going to mention it in a moment. But before I do, I want to talk about two mindsets that I came into human design with that were already deeply embedded into my worldview that allowed me, I feel, to take in the information of human design and to use it in a really empowering way that's allowed me to live out the exalted expression of my human design without getting stuck in the disempowered expression. Without these mindsets, I have witnessed many of my colleagues and even my human design teacher express the more disempowered end of the spectrum in relation to living their human design. And I think this is really unfortunate because having these mindsets really sets you free in order to live the majesty of all that you really are. And it's much more enjoyable. So the first mindset that I came into human design with is the notion that everybody has a unique genius and that genius is really an expression of their essential self. And so I already had this viewpoint that I came into this world with a very particular essential self, an essential nature that wanted to express as an individual being, and that it was just my job to uncover what that was and allow it to shine forth. Because I loved this idea that everybody has a unique genius, that led me to create a Discover Your Genius process, and I'd already been facilitating that for many years by the time I heard about human design. So human design was an added bonus to my existing worldview, and when I looked at the map of each person's unique human design, I was always acutely aware of their genius and seeing this as a way of looking at their real essence and how their essence wanted to shine through. Another way of saying that is that we all have a divine nature that wants to pour forth into the world, and that the way I viewed human design was just that this was a map that would help me to do that. The second mindset that I came into human design with was an awareness of how our essential nature and our genius can be obscured by getting stuck in the drama triangle. So I studied for several years with psychologists Gay and Katie Hendricks, and that's where I did my training in body-mind psychology and a somatic body-centered coaching training. And one of the core concepts that we really had drilled into us was to step out of the drama triangle and into 100% responsibility. So if you haven't heard of Karpman's drama triangle, basically there are three positions. The first position is the victim. So the victim is taking less than 100% responsibility for themselves, for what happens in their life. They feel like they're at the effect of, they probably have a depleted energy and a depleted way of approaching the world. And the victim can very easily move into one of the other two positions, which is the villain or the hero. So the hero is taking more than 100% responsibility and is stepping up like, okay, well, I'll solve this, I'll take on more responsibility, I'll fix this, I'll make this right. They're taking the weight of the world on their shoulders, they're taking responsibility for other victims who are in their life. And it's not long before the hero can then become a villain or a victim. They might become a victim by feeling run down, getting burnt out, and they can become a villain by blaming and getting frustrated and angry that they're doing so much. So the villain is also taking less than 100% responsibility and is blaming others. So the drama triangle is not just something that you can experience externally in your relationships, but it's also something internal in your own inner voice, where you could be like, poor me, I'm a victim. Oh, but I can do it, stepping into hero. And then, I can't believe how stupid you are. You did this and this and this, and blaming yourself. Now, the principal energy here that I learned to identify and to shift out of is victimhood. In fact, the entire 2-year training that I did was framed around the idea of stepping out of the personas associated with being in the villain, the victim, and the hero position, and stepping into your essential self and really embracing 100% responsibility to be your true nature. I can sniff these personas of villain, victim, and hero a mile away. I see them in myself. I see them as distortions of truth, that they're not real reflections of your essential nature. They're actually a diminished and disempowered version of who you could really be. So I see that there's ways of interpreting human design, if you just take it super literally, that can be disempowering and that can just end you up on the drama triangle playing out the role of victim. And to me, that is not the point of human design. Human design is here to empower you, and if it's not having that effect and it's not leading you into the full expression of your essential nature, then you're doing it wrong. Now, this is not to say that I haven't had periods of time where I went through deep and dark moments of deconditioning that felt similar to victimhood, and maybe even were periods of victimhood as I was going through a deep healing process. But in that process, I was healing layers of disempowerment that had kept me from living in my essential nature. And so to me, human design provides this opening and this opportunity to see the distortions that are present within you and to actually reveal them and then heal them. And usually for that healing process, you require support and really effective tools. Fortunately for me, I have had both of those all along my journey, and I had this overarching worldview that really supported me in my deconditioning process. As a result of that, I feel that I am living as the expression of the exalted nature of my human design. And that's actually what I truly wish for everybody. And it's another thing that I really love about the Gene Keys interpretation of this map, because Richard Rudd speaks about the victim frequency, which is the shadow, and then the gift and the city, which would be the higher octaves of that same frequency. So he's creating a map of the essential nature versus the distortions associated with each aspect of the gates. So if you feel like you are disempowered right now, let's say you are living in lack, you're struggling financially, if you are getting stuck in victim stories and feeling disempowered, if you're having a lot of conflict in your relationships, if you hate where you live and you're not doing something about it, then my message to you today is to make a shift and to either do some healing work to address the root cause of why you are persisting in a disempowered way, and start to take the steps that are ahead of you in order to actualize the exalted expression of who you really are. I have created an incredible resource to assist you in stepping into empowerment right now. It's called Power Up, and it is at this very moment free. So far, 100 people have registered and been going through the recordings, and the feedback has been amazing. People are really making profound shifts. On day 3, I share a really powerful tool for moving out of victimhood and into 100% responsibility. It's called the Blame Eliminator. So I definitely recommend that you check out Power Up, and for sure day 3. If the rest of the content isn't specifically relevant to you, that day 100% will be relevant to you. So the link to register for Power Up is below. When you get the email that explains all the details, you will see that there's also an invitation to my Facebook group, and that's where you can interact with me about the content as you watch the videos. Please do not use the sacred, amazing information of human design to justify staying in the victim position. I personally think that's a gross misuse of this information, and that it's not how it was intended to be interpreted. I'm gonna step off my soapbox now. Thanks for listening. I'll put the link here to Power Up, and I'll see you again soon here on my channel. Much love. Bye.